As per the request of the students, today I am going to discuss about an important component in your literature question paper, context questions. Through my presentation, I wish to give you all a thorough understanding on how to answer context questions. As usual, I'm Anusha Thennakoon. If you have not yet subscribed my channel, please do subscribe it for more educational videos. Content of today's presentation. I wish to discuss the following factors in detail in today's presentation. Number 1, what are context questions? Number 2, guidelines to answer context questions. Number 3, model answers. What are context questions? Context questions are a common question in literature paper. Most probably, it appears as a compulsory question. In most cases, context questions come under question number 1. The purpose of having context question in exam paper is to test your knowledge of the particular literary work. Now we have come to the most important part of today's presentation, how to answer context questions. Here, I have prepared some guidelines for you to consider in answering context questions. Guideline number 1. Identification of the literary work. This is the first task that you should do when you start answering a context question. Here the meaning is that you need to identify the title of the literary work. Guideline number 2. Identification of the writer. After identifying the literary work, you have to identify the writer who composed it. Guideline number 3. Summary of the whole literary work. You need to sum up the whole literary work in few sentences. Don't waste more sentences to give a detailed summary. Guideline number 4. Special techniques used by the writer. If you identify that there are certain special techniques used by the writer to compose this particular literary work, mention them briefly. Guideline number 5. You are supposed to identify where this particular extract given is available in the literary work. You have to mention whether the given extract is available at the beginning of the literary text, in the middle of the literary text, or at the end of the literary text. Guideline number 6. At the same time, you have to identify the contribution or the importance of the given extract to the whole literary work. Guideline number 7. The answer you provide for a context question should not be extended unnecessarily. Some students waste time at the exam writing very lengthy answers for context questions. Remember, you can score maximum 5 marks for a context question. Here, I would like to drag your attention to an important grammar component which is related to context question. That is passive voice. Normally, you have to start answering a context question with a passive voice sentence such as this extract has been taken from or this is extracted from. Now let's pay our attention to model answers for context questions. From this, I hope you will get a better understanding on how to answer context questions. In this presentation, I thought of giving you 2 model answers. Model answer 1. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Take few minutes to check whether you can identify this extract. If you have watched my early videos, you may remember this very easily. This extract has been taken from the sonnet, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day, written by a great Elizabethan poet, William Shakespeare. Starting our answer like this, we have shown the examiner that we could identify the literary work and the writer who composed it. Not only that, we have stated that we were aware of the literary era to which this literary work belongs. Even though in the poem he tries to compare the beauty of his friend to a summer's day, the whole idea of the poem is about the power of poetry. Here we have summarized the whole idea of the poem into a sentence. This poem is a sonnet, so it has 14 lines in which the last 2 lines function as the couplet. The given extract is available in a sonnet. Sonnet is a special genre of poetry. It has some special techniques, so we have indicated here that we are aware of them. The given 2 lines are the couplet. Here we have shown the examiner that we are able to identify where this particular extract is available in the work. Couplet is the last 2 lines of a sonnet. These 2 lines stress and emphasize the idea that the beauty of poet's friends will be eternal as he has written about him in poetic lines. According to these lines, as long as human beings exist in this world and as long as their eyes can see, his friend will be alive. The contribution of the given extract to the particular literary work has been indicated here very clearly. For the success of this sonnet, Shakespeare has used literary devices such as personification, metaphor, rhyming pattern, etc. Here we have displayed our further awareness on the poem. I hope when you read this answer once, you can easily understand that we have considered most of the guidelines we discussed early to write this answer. Model answer 2. Hardly a soul. My sister was staying here at the rectory, some 4 years ago. I will not be explaining the answer but reading only. I would like to give this as a task for you to check whether the discussed guidelines have been considered in this answer. This extract has been taken from the short story Open Window by Saki. The story is about how a stranger called Frampton Nuttall was cheated by a young girl of 15 called Vera. Skillfully, Vera made the foundation work for her fabricated story. She wanted to verify whether Mr. Nuttall knew the people of this area. So, she asked, "Do you know many of the people around here?" The given extract is a part of the answer given by Nuttall to Vera's question. This answer contributed a lot for the fabricated story by Vera. Later in her story, Vera says that her aunt's great tragedy occurred 3 years ago. The main theme of the story is confrontation between adults and children. Adults have loosened their imagination and children still live in a world of imaginative created by themselves. Sometimes when you answer a context question, you may not be able to consider all the guidelines which we discussed, but consider most of them. So we have come to the end of today's presentation. I would like to remind you once again, if you have not yet subscribed my channel, please subscribe it for more videos. Thank you.